What's up, you guys? I'm Dimitri Christie. I'm a real estate investor and broker here in Raleigh, North Carolina. And today I'm going to walk you through the home buying process. I'm going to be specifically talking about the buying process in North Carolina. There are nuances state to state, but a lot of steps apply to other states as well. So dive right in, we're going to talk about the preparation. So the steps it's going to take before you're even ready to start looking and to start buying. Then we're going to talk about the actual searching and buying process, and after the closing and what after. So to start off, you're going to want to prepare your credit. Your credit is so important because it's what your rates are going to be based off of, your loan eligibility, unless you're paying cash, whole different story. But most people are going to be getting a mortgage, so your credit is going to be very important. You want it to be above a 620 to qualify for most mortgages. Now, some lenders have special programs. 680 and above are going to get you the best rates overall, and then 720, 740 and above are going to get you supreme interest rates. Now, I'm shooting this in October 2022. The interest rates have risen quite significantly over the last 6 months, over the last year. But still, if you want good rates, your credit score is important. So work on your credit. Get some personal credit cards and be responsible with them. Get maybe a car loan and pay that every month. Your student loans also will help your credit. And check annualcreditreport.com to make sure you have no dings on your credit. And if you do, address those before you start trying to buy a home. So after that, you're also going to want to stack your cash. Really, it's going to cost a lot of money to buy a home, whether that be your down payment, your closing costs, your inspections, your moving fees. I don't mean to overwhelm you, but I just want you to know it does cost a lot of money. However, there are ways to reduce that amount. We'll talk about that later on. But all those amounts that I mentioned are going to be as such. Your down payment is typically minimum 3% for a conventional loan, 3.5% for an FHA loan. So whatever your purchase price is, take that percentage, you're gonna need that. There's no way to get around. Then for your closing costs in North Carolina, take about 2% of your purchase price. That is gonna be your overall closing cost. Now, closing costs can actually be covered by the sellers if you request seller credits. So talk to your agent about that. If you don't have an agent, please text me, email me, look at the link in the bio, leave a comment. I'd love to help you find one or even represent you possibly. So as you're going through your costs, understand that each market has different rates for their inspections as you're going through your inspection process. And then also each lender, attorney, title company has different fees. Overall, we can estimate those closing costs to be around 2%. So if you're putting the minimum down payment, you're going to need between 5 and 5.5% with your down payment and closing costs combined in cash, ready to go before you start shopping. So that being said, that's your preparation. Work on your credit and work on your funds. Then when you're ready, reach out to a realtor such as myself, another great one in your market, and tell them what you're looking for. See how well they help you. And if you're not vibing, don't work with them. I would also say once you do find one that you like, commit, because that's the best way you're going to get the best service, the best deal, the best outcome overall in your home buying process. So connect with them, and typically realtors have preferred lenders, preferred inspectors, maybe other vendors around the city, and they know they're the experts in the market. So you can work with them. They should connect you with a lender unless you already have one. I typically recommend mortgage brokers or local lenders because a big bank may be great. You have your fund, your banking with them, checking, savings, whatever. However, they're typically slower and they give not as great rates. So it's a little bit more difficult to work with them. You do as you please, of course, but I always have had great experiences myself and with clients working with a local mortgage broker. They can shop around your rates and it's just a more pleasant experience. So get pre-approved. It's very important. I really don't, and I hate to say this, but don't shop until you are pre-approved. The reason being, not because you're going to be wasting the agent's time and frustrate them and damage that relationship, but you're going to emotionally get invested in a home. I promise you, you'll find one that you love and you won't be able to offer on it. This happens to my clients plenty of times before they come to me. And this is because they're not ready to buy and they found something that they like. Then they're scrambling and they're not pre-approved in time before the home gets purchased. In this market today, it is quite a bit slower. However, the nice homes are still moving. So Let's say you find one that you like, I'm sure others like it as well. So get pre-approved, then talk with your agent along the way. They should have set you up on an MLS search. Zillow, Redfin, Realtor.com are all great, but they're delayed. They're not directly connected to the MLS where they update instantly. They have to go pull the data, then update their websites. Whereas if you're on a search through the MLS, through your realtor, if a listing agent posts a listing at 8 a.m., then you're going to get it right to your email at 8 a.m. if it fits your criteria. Get to know what price range are you looking for? What neighborhood are you looking for? What style and type of home? 1 story, 2 story, a townhouse, condo, detached. Do you need a garage? Do you want a shed? Do you need a fence? All sorts of things like that. Master bedroom downstairs, upstairs, open floor plan, closed floor plan. I could go on and on. But really understand what you're looking for and get your must-haves. Then get a section of what you like. And then also, very important, get things that you don't like. This way you can count out homes that have the things you don't like and don't have enough of the things that you do like. This will really help in your search because there's lots of homes and there's even more homes coming on the market. Buyers are able to be picky in this time and would love to help you find a home that you like. So take these tips and utilize them in your search. As you're searching and you're pre-approved, go do showings with your agent and be ready to offer. So in North Carolina, something I love to explain to people is that there are multiple steps to the offer process. It's one single offer to the listing, to the sellers. However, there are multiple parts to the offer. It's not just the sales price. The sales price is important, yes. However, there are also going to be 2 additional deposits up front when you agree on the contract with the sellers, called the earnest money and the due diligence. We'll start with the due diligence. This is essentially a fee that you pay that applies towards your purchase price, but it is non-refundable, meaning you sign the contract, agree with the sellers, then you literally give them the money. This is buying you a due diligence period of typically 14 to 21 days to do inspections, to get your appraisal, to really contemplate, search, look at the house, visit it, and really decide, okay, is this the house for me? If your inspection comes back and it needs so much work, it overwhelms you and you don't want to take that on, you're able to back out of the contract in that due diligence period with no repercussion except you lose that due diligence money. So on one hand, it's a benefit. You get a long period to decide whether or not you want to stay in the contract or get out of it. However, you do lose that money. It's at risk. Now, the second deposit I mentioned is your earnest money. This money is paid at the same time as the due diligence up front when the contract is agreed upon. Due diligence goes directly to the sellers. The earnest money goes to the attorney's office who's closing the transaction, and they're held in escrow in a trust. So one thing you need to know is that if you are to back out during your due diligence period, you lose your due diligence money, but you will receive back your earnest money. However, let's say your due diligence period is 21 days, but you end up pulling out on the 22nd, 23rd day, you will lose both your due diligence money and your earnest money. Now, I've never had that happen with a client. Those are pretty extreme situations. If you know you're going to back out, 99% of the time, almost 99.8% of the time happens during due diligence period. So that's just something you should know. But as you're searching, make sure that when you find the home that you like, your realtor runs comps on it, comparables in the neighborhood to see an approximate value. Then also checks the FEMA flood maps to make sure it's not in a floodplain. And if it is at risk of flood, is it a 100-year, 500-year, every year? What is the risk? And what type of flood insurance are you going to need? This way you can make a sound decision on that aspect of the home. Pull the seller's disclosures and see the age of the systems if they're noted, the types of piping that there is, and any other abnormalities that may be on there, or just information that will help you make a more educated decision. You can get this before you offer. So this is prior to your offer. Additionally, you obviously want to see the home, whether over video. I do lots of video showings for my clients who are out of state, and then, or in person, because if you're in person, it's great. You can feel it, touch it, see it, visit, really get an understanding for the neighborhood. I would recommend that you search, if it's important to you, the school systems and get your ratings and understanding of that if that's important, because realtors are kind of bound by laws, anti-discrimination laws, not being able to help give you information on crime or schools or race or politics or all sorts of things to prevent discrimination. However, what I do for my clients is I'll send them some links to online websites and refer them to visit those. Most of them are .gov because that's seemingly the most reliable. However, some others like the schools are websites like niche.com and that of the sort. So really do all your research, and then it's time to offer. If you really love the home, don't get caught up fully on the price. Now, I'm not saying to overpay, but I am saying the difference in about $5,000 and $10,000 in an offer at around 6.5% with 10% down on $350,000 is going to be only a measly $30 a month or $75 a month, depending on the $5,000 or $10,000 reduction in price. That can be even lower or higher depending on your down payment and your interest rate. But really, if you love the home, I'm sure that amount of money is not going to stop you from paying a higher price just to get it. Now, again, run the comps, look at it, check it out. But once you're ready, commit and move quickly. Those who move quickly are typically the ones who get the deal. I've had some clients in the past really love a home. It checks all of their boxes. 7 out of 10 is typically what I recommend at a minimum, because you're not always going to find a home that checks them all. If you do, jump on it. Give them what they want. Go for it. Again, still get a deal, but you know what I mean. Secure it for yourself. If you love it, live in it. So typically around 7 out of 10 of must-haves or I like for this home. Jump on it. And then move quickly. Okay, move quickly. The speed is the name of the game in real estate as well as strategy. So you might strategize with your agent to request sellers, closing costs. You might request a home warranty, which helps protect some of the major systems in the home for the first year, which you can renew thereafter if you so please. But there's a lot of ways to strategize your offer. Once your offer is accepted, you're going to want to get your inspection done immediately, order your appraisal. The appraisal typically holds up the lending process. Get your inspection. You can either meet the inspector there for the report at the end of it, or just receive the report and go off of what they say. So if you need to get a plumbing inspector out there, like a true plumber after the general inspection, then get a plumber out there to really understand what you're looking at as far as cost and severity of the issues. If you need an electrician, a roofer, etc., etc. Then you can make a decision during your due diligence period if the amount of work is necessary to back out of the contract, negotiate, or anything like that. Or nothing, smooth sailing, you're okay with how it looks, and you just move forward with the process. Then your due diligence period passes, you don't back out of the contract, you're continuing on. Then at that point, your earnest money is also at risk if you like to pull out, but you're probably not. You get your final documents from the lenders. You do everything. Maybe in this process, you're also getting a survey. It's not required in North Carolina, but I do recommend it. And so then you're ready. You go to the closing table. You're ready that day. Make sure you're on time. Communicate with your realtor. Make sure you have your funds wired or ready to be wired. They cannot be a check or cash or anything of that sort. They need to be wired to the title company, the attorney's office. Make sure your lender is on the same page. They understand you're trying to close. Also, in your closing process, over those 30 to 45 days it takes from contract acceptance to contract close, make sure you get your insurance quoted and lined up to start on the same day. Maybe your utilities need to be turned on for that same day, scheduled. Also, your movers and other things in order to prepare for your home to be ready for you on closing day. So it's closing day, you showed up on time, get ready to sign a lot of papers. If you're using a mortgage, there are a lot of documents to sign. Your realtor and your attorney can walk you through those along the way, but there's really no way around them. If you're gonna buy the house, you're gonna sign the papers. And then you have your keys. Congratulations, you've purchased a home in the great state of North Carolina. Your movers are on the way, or they're already working, or maybe that's you and some friends, either way. And now you have an asset that is bound to grow because we have some great companies here, some great growth from both the North, the West, and even the South coming here to North Carolina. So congratulations on your new home. And if you have any other questions, please leave them in the comments, send me an email, and I'd love to talk to you about home buying, whether that be for yourself or for an investment. I hope you have a great day, and make sure to subscribe if you like more real estate videos, and I'll talk to you soon.